everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is Playdead Live. Ship Strike is back, and it's been a long time since we had Ship Strike, and we got some amazing upgrades and updates and new play styles for you guys tonight. So really looking forward to some great action. You guys know we got Arctic Jet, the two undefeated teams so far. They're both 1-0, and then we got Sly and Vox. And tonight's chance to be a captain, chance to play some old school Battleship, but play it with our items in mind. And we have changed it up. We were doing 8 versus 8 at the beginning of the year, and we've narrowed it down to 5 versus 5. So I think the action is going to be super intense. So before we get too far into it, look, we got to get down to a little bit of business. We got Valar in the house. Hello, 999 Army, Kills Great Mods, channel members, sponsors, PDL, and we got Bones, 79 months. Thank you for that. So before we get too far into it tonight, I got to super chat a little something, because y'all know what we do when we celebrate birthdays. And we got a couple big birthdays tonight. One is here, one is not here, unfortunately. But that's not going to stop us from celebrating. How about a super chat special for Pope and Ocean Man? So big shout out for them. So light them up. Everybody get your box ready to rock and roll, because we are doing a box event in the month of November. We were going to do it in October. So we're going to do it way back in October. And we rolled out a brand new map and some other cool things. So now you know the box event is going to be in the month of November. So I see Animal now. Animal has been a member for 65 months. Check that out. It's pretty crazy, huh? And I got an idea. Busy, I got an idea of how you can get Pope to get back into fish fights on Thursday night. Tell him it's his birthday. Just tell Pope every Thursday it's your birthday, and then he'll be here. So that's what we're going to do. Brand new strategy. If we want to get Pope to play fish fights on Thursday night, all we got to do is just convince him it's his birthday every Thursday. See, I got a plan. But in all seriousness, Pope, appreciate you spending your birthday tonight with us and with your faction. So, we always enjoy when our players show up. We got Bones in the house, super chatting it up. Big happy birthday to Pope. We got Kel, happy to Ocean Man and Pope. Big birthday shout out from Ocean Man and Pope as well. So, I did get a request of. There are a couple changes tonight that I'm going to break down for you guys, and we're going to get into the lineups, because we got to start exactly at 8:30. Games are capped at 1 hour. So the first thing to remember is you must throw, in order to hit, either a specialty grenade. That's a red eye, a snowstorm, a dud grenade, a lithium, or it needs to be a high-powered grenade above grizzly levels. That's 360 or higher. So you can look at the damage a grenade does. That means low damage grenades, if you throw them tonight, they're not going to hit. So make sure you know the high power grenades. Okay? Also, we have Snowstorm has a special effect. Snowstorm has a special effect. So if you throw a snowstorm and it's not intercepted, it hits the water or whatever the case may be, it could miss the target, but if it hits, that means it's not redirected, or it's not prevented in some regard, because captains have preventions. Then one of on your side decided through it, part of your pond, a square of your pond, is frozen. So that means whatever is underneath it cannot be revealed until that frozen section of the pond is broken. It can be broken one of two ways. It can be broken with a grenade hit, or it can be broken by using vine smoke. So vine smoke is another new addition. So vine smoke tonight will either break the ice, won't do that in Faction War, so don't try it in Faction War. It'll either break the ice of the enemy, and you can only play vine smoke on your turn, or you can use vine smoke to break the seal of a player in a boat. Everybody got that? Does that make sense? Super, super easy. Those are the major changes. Now keep in mind, as a captain, you have a prevention, one prevention, you have one blue, and you have the ability to use a legendary. Now here's the way legendary locks work. You can try a legendary, because I'm not going to give you the whole list of legendaries because they're locked. So let's say you got a Euclid or something. And you say, I'm going to try Euclid. When you play it during tonight, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, that is your legendary play, okay? Everybody understand legend locks. But you may be able to unlock a legend or two. But you only get to try one. So somebody may try, and at this point, all legends are locked. So just because we allowed a legend before does not mean we're going to unlock it. So you got to gamble a little bit. Everybody understand that. Legends are locked. So your captain may say, I'm going to try this. And I'm going to say, yep, that works. Or I'm going to say, nope, that legend is not usable in Ship Strike. Everybody understand? Give me a 999 if you understand where I'm coming from. Now, you may want it to work, but just because you want it to work doesn't mean it will. So that means starting tonight, we will have a master list created of legends that you can use in Ship Strike, and we will be doing it in real time. All right? We're going to make Ship Strikes pretty fun. Okay, with that being said, our first match tonight is Ark and Jet. Ark is the home team. So I'm going to show you the grid. All right, we got Ark on the left side. We got Jet on the right side. So the order is as follows. The home team goes first because the road team goes first, sorry. The home team goes last because they'll always get the final move, which is better in Ship Strike because you never know. Get a chance to win or tie. So the captain tonight, going first is going to be Valar for Team Ark. The captain for Jet is Justice. Then going second is Julia, the first mate. Then going second for Jet is Kel. Then going third is Dal. And going third for Jet is NPC, played by Kel. Then going fourth is Shaman. Then going fourth is Hendrix, played by Kel. She's going to be using a lot of grenades tonight, right? Then going fifth is the birthday boy, the Pope, followed by the Cardinal. Now, down at the bottom, you will see these little ice blocks. So if a grenade is thrown and it hits the water, hit or miss, let's say Ark throws a snowstorm, and they throw it way over here somewhere, then I have a master list tonight, and we will freeze maybe up this row, maybe diagonal. It is completely random, so you do not get to choose what is frozen. So let's say the first one hits, I may freeze this. Another one, I could go diagonal. So that means these blocks are going to stay frozen with snowstorms. All right. Everybody got that? It's pretty fun, right? Fun, easy. Game is different. Oh, also, the MVP tonight is going to get bonus war gems. The winning team is going to get war gems. And if you don't know a little bit about Clash of Clans and how Clash of Clans used to work with upbuilding castles, our castle strike is going to work very much like that. and you want to accumulate these war gems, maybe get them in bundles, maybe get them for wins, but you will be able to use those to upgrade your castle in the upcoming castle strike, which we may have a test ready in November, but we are going to launch that season officially in January. All right, here we go. Valar, you're on the clock. You're going first. Go ahead and get your move in, Valar. Tell me where you're throwing the grenade, what you're throwing, and anything else that you're doing. Let's go. Valar and then Justice. And remember, the other team's captain. So when Valar does something, Justice, you will get to respond to it. Valar is going to play a seal on herself. She's also going to play a Bunko. Bunko could hit 2 locations. It's going to be A4 and H2. And again, I'll read it twice. If the other team's captain, Justice in this case, doesn't do anything about it, he doesn't have to say hits. But if I read it twice and he has not said wait, it's going to launch. Valar, Bunko, A4, H2. You don't have to say hits. It's okay. It's in flight. All right, Valar. A4. Is a miss. H2 in flight. One second. We're going to have to make a few more X's here. Sorry. Been a while since we've done this, so I got to be prepared. We always need a lot of X's, right? All right, it should last us for a little bit. All right, what do we say? Was it A4? Give me 1 second. A4 was a miss. And H2 in flight. H2 is a miss as well. All right, let's go over to Justice. Justice, your move. Y'all forgot how much you like ship strikes, didn't you? Well, now you remember. Justice playing a seal. Justice is going to play a Bunko as well. He remembers how to play. Going to go C3, E5. Justice Bunko, C3, E5. En route. C3 is a miss. E5. Is also a miss. You don't have to type hits. You can just type wait. I'll read it twice. All right, let's go to Julia. Julia, you're up next. Your move. It makes it simpler on the captains if you just type wait when you're ready. Julia dropping a seal. Wow. Guys, I'm sorry. I got to make copies of all these items. Man. This was the master template, so I didn't have enough seals and everything for everybody else. All right, Julia playing a seal. All right, we should be good to go now. All right, Julia playing F6 and F7. Bunko to F6 and F7. It is en route. F6 is a miss. F7 is also a miss. All right, let's go to Kel. Kel, you're up. Kel playing a seal. Bunko, A1 and B2. Kel throwing a Bunko. Directed at A1 and B2. Villar says, wait, maybe Kel's onto something, or is Villar pulling the first bluff? Remember, sometimes these captains like to bluff. And also remember, Bunko, if it's prevented or blues, it stops both of them. That is the other difference in this. So Villar says, wait. So Villar, prevention, blue, or are you going to do a legend lock opportunity? Villar going to use her prevention. Ark has no prevention, so maybe Kel was onto something, maybe she wasn't. All right, let's go over to Dow. Dow, you're up. Do we have Dow? Ark, do we have Dow, or are we skipping? Got to get a move in. Going once. Going twice. All right, Dow, throw into A4. What are you throwing? All right, Grizz to A4. All right, that is his move. Grizz to A4. It is. Justice says wait. Did Dow find the hidden location, or Justice throwing a bluff? Justice, what's the play? Will he prevent? Will he blue? Or will he try to unlock a legend to see if it's something that could be used in the future? Justice is going to prevent it. He says, let's just straight up get rid of it. So using his prevention. All right, let's go to Kel as MPC. Kel, your move. MPC with a seal. Snowstorm to B2. All right, Kel throwing a snowstorm to B2. Villar says, wait. So they use their prevention. So will they play a blue or try to gamble with the legend lock? They're going to play the blue. All right, the snowstorm never hit because it was intercepted by blue, which means no part of the jet lake is frozen. But I see what Kel did there with the gamble. All right, let's go to Shaman. Shaman, your move. All right, captains, I'm going to ask that our team speed it up a little bit. If you're next on deck, make sure you got your move ready to go so we get these moves instantaneously. Shaman with a max seal. Bunko, D4, H6. Bunko to D4, H6. It, Justice says, wait. Justice going to use a blue as well. I feel like maybe Villar and Justice are doing a little trickery, right? And they're just using stuff. So I don't know. Maybe you guys know what is underneath it, or maybe there's just a lot of bluffing going on. All right. Either way, they stop the Shaman's move. All right, Kel. Playing as Henny. Hendricks, your move. Henny seal and a snowstorm to B2. Well, they're definitely making them work at B2, right? Snowstorm grenade. All right. Back-to-back snowstorms. Kel's convinced that there's something at B2. I think the people watching are convinced that maybe Villar's bluffing. Who knows? All right. Last call. Snowstorm to B2. Villar says, wait. Okay. Really, really making them work here. I guess she's going to try to gamble with the first legend lock. She's going to use Eclipse to make B2 disappear. It works. It works. All right. Arc has unlocked Eclipse. I like it. So, B2 disappears, so the snowstorm hits nothing. Just avoid. All right, let's go over to Pope. Gonna go seal. Snowstorm to D4. Seal. And a snowstorm to D4. Arc is out of preventions and legends and blues on their side. All right. Oh, Justice says wait. Okay. Justice is going to try to unlock a legend. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. Oh, Judas. Does Judas work? Yes, it does. Judas does work. And they saved it. All right, Judas is unlocked. And the snowstorm is redirected to B2. It hits and breaks Shaman Seal. And there is a snowstorm in the upper right-hand corner. Doesn't mean there's anything behind it, but you don't know. It's random. All right, let's go to the Cardinal. Cardinal, you're up. Cardinal with a seal. Snowstorm to B2. It hits. Shaman is dead. Resin Restore Shaman. Cardinal with the first hit of the game. B2 is a hit. All right, let's go back to Villar. Villar, your move. Maxiel to Dow. Snowstorm to D4. Snowstorm to D4 is en route. Nobody can stop it, so the game will speed up. D4 is a miss. But the snowstorm freezes their upper left corner. Maybe there's something behind it. Maybe there's not. Justice, your move. Snowstorm to B3. Snowstorm to B3 is en route. And Villar no longer has a seal. Another area of the pond is frozen. Justice uncovered some info there. Julia, your move. Max Seal to Villar, Snowstorm to H6. Snowstorm to H6 is en route. H6 is a hit. And because it is not a player, you can tell it is a ghost ship hit. And it was a snowstorm. Julia pretty lucky with that, because she hit an unmanned boat and got a snowstorm back to back. That may get them right back in the game. Kel, your move. Going to play Vines and Snowstorm to B3. Vines we'll get rid of. Actually, are you playing Vines to Lake or to a player? Because you can do either. I have to ask. I kind of know the answer, but I still got to ask. Are you going to play the Vines to the player at B3 or to the lake of one of those frozen sections? To Villar. Okay. Vines to Villar. And then Snowstorm. And that is going to kill Villar. Kel taking out the captain. All right, and it was a snowstorm, so going to freeze another section of their pond. See the way the tide can turn, right? Villar, res, and restore. Kel with another hit. All right, let's go to Dow. Dow, you're up. And remember, see, now you can see how Vines is going to change the game. Snowstorm to H7. Snowstorm to H7. Is Dow on to something? Oh, he is. H7 is a hit. That told him a little something, right? And the snowstorm, you can see they're going diagonally. Again, they're completely random. So who knows what's behind them? Game got a little even, didn't it? Now remember, you cannot play Vine Smoke if you don't know who the player is and where the block they're at. So you can't play it in the blind. You have to have had hit and revealed that a player's there. Okay? Just let you guys know that. All right, Kel, as MPC. MPC, Snowstorm to B4. B4 is a hit, and it will break Dow's seal. C3 now has an ice block in front of it. Shaman. Now, Shaman and Valar cannot be sealed, but they do continue to attack. Shaman, your move. Dead players get no seals. Seek and destroy grenade to H5 and max seal Dow. All right, it is a ghost ship. Shaman, she knows what she's doing. Going to H5 because the other one, well, actually she doesn't. Because remember, all right, so no max seal to Dow. All right, now, Shaman did go H5, but remember, it is a ghost ship. We know it's 3 people. So it could be H5 or it could be underneath this H8. Remember, that's just a frozen layer on top. So if it's not H5, then now Ark knows that they're going to have to unfreeze that block and hit underneath. Does everybody understand that? What she meant and what she typed is 2 different things. Wait, how can she mean to seal herself and type Dow's name, Valar? Come on, Valar. So Valar, I went to the casino and I bet $5,000 on red and I lost. And I told him, I said, wait. I meant to bet black. How do you think that worked out? All right. No move. So what I said was, exactly. And on top of that, she's dead, so she couldn't seal herself. All right. What I said was that Sheila threw a sad grenade at H5. Now, I'm about to reveal whether or not that's a hit. But remember, if that's not a hit, then they know it's H8, and H8 does have a frozen block over the top of it. So then Ark would have to unfreeze that block either by grenade or by a vine smoke. Now, I will tell you, Sheila picked correct. She did pick H5, and that does sink the first battleship. Congratulations, Shaman. Now, because it is a sad grenade, Shaman, you get a second attack. Actually, I'll put it over on this side because the side that gets this the points is the one that scores. So Ark is up 1-0. Sheila, you get another grenade attack because you threw Seek and Destroy. Throw another grenade. She's like, thank you, thank you. Throw another grenade. Bunko, D1C1. All right. It's en route. D1C1. D1 is a miss. C1 is also a miss. Kel as Henny. Kel, give me your move. Remember, both these teams are 1-0. One team will go to 2-0. One team will go to 1-1. We just hit the 30-minute mark. Henny, sad grenade to B4. Now, Henny gambling too, because Henny knows it didn't sink the two-person ship, so it's either B4 or B1 because there's a line, right? Is it B4? Did Henny get it right? Yes, he did. Dow, Restore. The score is now 1-1. Ark 1, Jet 1. Jet has sunk a human boat. Henny, you're up. Henny and Shaman have both sunk battleships. Bunko, H1G2. H1, G2. H1 is a miss. G2 is a miss. Pope, you're up. Your team needs a little magic. What you got, Pope? Cardinal, you having a good time tonight, hanging out, doing a little battleship with us? Hopefully you guys are all having a good time bringing this back. I missed it. We got Pope here on his birthday. We got the Cardinal in the house. We got two teams waiting and raring to go. Pope, Bunko, B4, C4. B4 is a miss. C4 is also a miss. Cardinal, you're up. I got a feeling Bunko, Sad Grenades, Grizzlies, and Snowstorms are going to be really popular for the inventory team this week. Cardinal, Bunko, E2, F7. E2 is a miss. F7 is also a miss. Valar, you're up. Valar Bunko, D7, C8. D7 is a miss. C8 is also a miss. Justice in the house. Justice, your move. Where is Justice? Justice, the captain, your move. Bunko, C7, D8. C7 and D8. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. Can't tell you which one. That's the way Bunkos work. Julia, you're up. Bunko, A8, F1. A8 is a miss. F1 is also a miss. Kel, your move. One second. Got to make a few more X's. All right. Go to Kel. Kel, Snowstorm to C7. She's gambling with it. She knew one of those two hits. C7 breaks Pope's seal. And freezes a little bit of the jet pond. All right, Dow, your move. Max seal to Pope. Bunko, A6, F2. One of those two is a hit. One of those two is a hit. Kel is MPC. This game is super close, y'all. It's very close. Kel is MPC. It's going to go down to the wire. MPC, Snowstorm to C6. Snowstorm to C6. It will hit. Break that. Because C6 has an ice block on it. So C6, block is frozen. Does hit, gives Kel another frozen block. But it does break that location. All right, let's go to Dow. Wait a minute, sorry. I think Dow just went. Let's go to Shaman. Shaman's up. Grizzly to A6. A6. In flight is a miss. Kel has Henny. Kel, your move. $20 to go. Henny Grizzly to C6. Grizzly to C6. Is a miss. Pope, your move. Kel unfroze a block. Also threw a grenade at a frozen block. But remember, vine smoke can unfreeze those blocks if you have a vine smoke. You can play a vine smoke to unfreeze the block, and it will unfreeze it the same round that your grenade is in flight. If you have one and haven't used it. Remember, you can only use one vine smoke a game. Pope, your move. Vines and sad to F2. Now, you cannot play vines to a blind target. Remember, so type no vines, because even though we unveiled one or the other, you don't know the player that's behind that, okay? All right, throwing a sad grenade to F2. It does hit and breaks MPC seal. But you don't get another attack because it hit the seal. All right, final move of round 3. Cardinal, you're up. Vines to Pope, sad to C7. All right, vines. They did reveal Pope earlier. That's a smart move. They set him up really good by doing the Grizzly. All right, vines to Pope gets rid of that to Pope. C7 is going to kill Pope. Pope, res and restore. All right, Cardinal. You get a second attack. Now, I think what Kel might have been doing earlier is trying to establish a barrier and getting some information. Let's see what Cardinal's second attack is. Team Jet will get Cardinal's second move, and we'll take it back to the top. Going Grizzly to C8. Grizzly to C8. C8's a miss. All right, back to the top. Valar, your move. Round number 4, everybody. Fast-moving game. Good action here. Sad grenade to F2. All right, so we know. All right, F2 is a hit. MPC, res and restore. Valar, you get a second attack. Now, Ark is just taking the lead. No, I'm sorry, it's tied. It's tied. What type of grenade, Valar? Grizzly to F3. F3's a miss. Justice, you're up. $13. Snowstorm to D7. Snowstorm to D7. D7 is a miss. Wow. But he does get the snowstorm. Snowstorm going to the other corner. Frozen block going to the other corner. All right, Julia, you're up. Grizzly to E2. E2 breaks. Henny Seal. Kel, you're up. I'm not sure which of your characters used binds earlier to Valar, but I guess we can check it. I think it was you. Because I scrolled up and you did it right after Julia's move. Scroll back up. So Valar did her move, Justice did his, Julia did hers, and Kel, you did binds and Snowstorm to B3 to Valar. All right, so yeah, I know, no worries. So Kel's going sad grenade to B7. B7 is a hit. Because it's frozen. That block is no longer frozen. It is revealed. And we still have not revealed the player underneath. So even though it's process of elimination, you can't use vines on something you have not seen. So even if she would have had the vines would have only gotten rid of the frozen block. Okay? All right, Dow, your move. Sad grenade to E2. E2 is a hit, does kill Henny. And Dow, you get a second attack. Now again, I will remind all players, with sad grenades, with bunkos, with snowstorms, when we do the inventory check tomorrow AM, you must have these grenades in your inventory, or it will cost your team the game. This is different than Faction Wars because we can't undo the moves. So your inventory has to be accurate with these grenades. Second move, Dow. Grizz to D4. Ooh. Throwing Grizz to D4. D4 was already a miss earlier. So a dud by Dow. Look at that. D4 is already on the board. Somebody else from Arc had targeted it. Big miss there. Ouch. That might have opened the door. MPC, you're up. Six minutes to go. MPC, snowstorm to B7. B7 does break Julius Seal. Snowstorm will freeze because it's going diagonally again. G2. Shaman. Your move. Grizzly to D2. Grizzly to D2 is a miss. Wow. Wow. All right, Henny, you're up. Henny, Vines to Julia. Sad to B7. Okay. Don't need Vines to Julia because you got to use it. It fizzled, but she's not sealed. All right, Julia, res and restore. And sad to B7 does sink a battleship. All right, Jet now takes the lead because they have 2 ships down. One is a 2-seater. Henny with his second sunken battleship. Pope, your move. Your team needs some magic. You're still in it. They have 2 ships, but 2 3-seaters would be better than a 3-seater and a 2-seater. Oh, sorry. Kel's second attack. Henny, Bunko, F4, H6. F4. Is a miss. H6 is a miss. Pope, now you're up. 3 minutes to go. Three minutes. Let's go, everybody. Get your moves in quick. Two minutes. The longer it takes to get a move in. Vines and Grizz to G2. All right. Vines melts the ice. Grizz hits and breaks Kel seal. Cardinal, your move. Max seal to Kel. Bunko. D4, A5. D4 is a miss. A5 is a miss. And time. We do not have time for 2 more moves. That is it. The match is over. Barely hanging on. Team Jet sinking 2 boats. Team Arc so close to the final block. They had a couple misses of duplicate moves. 1 move. If they could have broke Kel seal with a Vines and gotten that, Arc could have gotten a win. 2 3-seaters, but Team Jet gets the win tonight by 1, getting the victory. Congratulations, Jet, going 2-0. Captain Justice, undefeated. What a nice game. All right, let's go. Do we have Vox? Do we have Sly? Match number 2. We've got, starting out, we got Dimes. Then we got Dr. Die. Then we got Bones. Then we got Cat. Then we got Animal, Trigger, Tiny, Sir Tim, Football, Nightshade. And by the way, in game number 1, the MVP, sinking 2 ships, was Henny. Henny got the MVP award. All right, let's start this thing off. We're starting exactly 9:30. Deadly Dimes. You got the first move. Let's go. Dropping a seal. Throwing the wrong grenade already, but you already typed it. I'm sorry. She typed Elmo. Elmo. And it's the first target because it doesn't pick 2. Nerves, right, Dimes? Elmo will go to B2 only. Elmo is a specialty grenade to B2 only. It is. Dr. Died says nothing, so it is in flight. B2. Is a miss. One second. Guess what I have to do? We'll add 1 minute to tonight's game, so we won't stop exactly at 10:30. We'll start at 10:31. All right, we should be back. Dr. Die. We got our icon set up and ready to go. And that was the B2, I think. Hang on, let me look. All right, yep, B2 was a miss. We got Dr. Die. Seal. Dr. Die with a seal, throwing a Bunko. To C5F2. Dime says wait. Maybe a bluff. Maybe Dr. Die's onto something. Going to use a blue and stop both. All right, Bones, you're up. Bones, seal, Bunko. Bones going bunco 2. G2, F5. Bunco. G2, F5. It is en route. G2 is a miss. F5 is also a miss. Cat. Your move. We have cat, animal, then trigger. Dropping a seal. Bunco. G5, B2. Dime says wait. Dime's going with that. I'm going to make you wait on everything. Dime's going to use the prevention. Animal, you're up. Animal dropping a seal. And then throwing a bunco. C2, F7. Bunco. C2, F7 is en route. C2's a miss. F7 is a miss, but taking out a lot of the board so far. That could be huge. Trigger, you're up. Sometimes teams start out slow, but they reveal so much of the board, they make a run later on. As we know, with vines and snowstorms, the game's different. Dropping a seal. Has to be a bunco grenade for ship strike trigger. Trixies can still be used in other battlegrounds, but bunco is the specific one for ship strike. So if you can type bunco, make sure all players, yes, all players need to know Trixie's still a valid grenade, but bunco when it came out specifically for this event. All right, bunco, F6, C5. F6, C5 is en route. F6 is a miss. C5 is also a miss. Tiny, you're up. Seal, bunco, E1, D5. Bunco, E1, D5. Dr. Die says wait. Going to use the prevention. All right, let's go to Sir Tim. Sir Tim in the house. Sir Tim dropping a seal. Playing that bunco too. G6, H6. Bunco. G6, H6. It is en route. En route. One of those two targets would hit. One of those two targets will hit. Football, you're up. Dropping a seal and a snowstorm to D5. Ramping it up. Snowstorm to D5. It is en route. D5 is a miss. But the snowstorm. Going to freeze the top left corner. Already was en route. Diane was going to go for a little bluffing. See that? Because y'all saw that it missed anyway. Sneaky die, sneaky. Y'all keep an eye on her. All right, let's go to Nightshade. Nightshade's up. Dropping a seal. Snowstorm to G6. Dime says wait. Did Nightshade pick the right one of two, or is Dimes doing a little bluffing like Die tried to do? She's going to try to unlock a legend. Now, if it's a legend that's already in play, she knows. But if it's a new legend, could be a risky move. Judas, we know, is unlocked. They're going Judas to E1. Dr. Die, they're going to send your snowstorm back to E1. Dr. Die says, wait. Ooh, going Judas that back again. Both teams going Judas. How about that? Dr. Die says, well, it was going to G6, and we're going to send it to E1, but I'll redirect it to a different place and redirect it to H6. Dime says, I'll let H6 hit. And H6 is a miss. But they do get the snowstorm effect because it did hit the ground. So we'll freeze that block up there. All right. That was kind of madness, right? Vox has a blue left. Otherwise, there are no preventions, no blues the rest of the game. Everything is going to hit. All right, that's the end of round number 1. Dimes, you're up. Snowstorm to E1. Dime says, let's stick to it. Going snowstorm to E1. Snowstorm is en route. And it is a hit. And since there are no seals, it should tell you it is the unmanned ship. And Dime's getting the snowstorm effect. First hit of the game. Dr. Die, you're up. Snowstorm to G6. Snowstorm to G6. Going to break Dimes' seal. They do get the snowstorm. Bones, your move. Remember, all players have a seal, a max seal, and a vines. Bone's going to max seal Dimes. And going E2 Grizzly. E2 Grizzly. Is a hit. Now, that was a pretty good guess because she had 3 chances, and that worked out well for Bones. A hit. Cat, your move. But if she was really confident, she would have thrown a Seek and Destroy, right? I guess you weren't that confident, were you, Bones? You were only 33% confident. We got Cat and Team Vox got to come back strong. Vines to dime, sad grenade to G6. All right, smart move. Vines and a sad grenade to G6. Now that's a good combo shot by Cat. That's what it's all about. The captain is dead. Dimes, resin, restore for us, please. Cat, let's have your follow-up move. Now that was set up nicely too, because you can see the map. So this game's about to get close in a hurry. Just, it's the thing with this. Just when you think that you're out to a big lead, you're looking good, the other team gets like a combo shot like that. And remember, you can throw more than one sad grenades in a game, but you can't throw them back to back. So when a sad grenade hits, it can't go back to back. Grizzly to G5. G5, Animal Seal is gone. And look who's up. The animal who just lost his seal. Joe, your move. Do we have animal? Got to get these moves in, guys. Max Seal himself, Grizzly to E3. How about animal getting the first sunken battleship of the night for Team Sly, a 3-bagger. Congratulations, Animal. Now that would have been an opportune time for those of you watching. Well, again, you had a 50-50 chance, so the confidence level. No, actually, he didn't have 50. He had a 100% chance. So that would have been a good time for a sad grenade. But if you don't have them, don't throw them, because you could lose your team the game. Trigger, you're up. Got to make sure it's in your inventory. Early lead for Team Sly, but plenty of time for Vox to come back. Vines to animal, sad to G5. Vines takes that out. Sad to G5, and just like that, animal. Res and restore. Trigger, give me a second attack. Trigger, second attack, please. We have trigger, and we have tiny. It is not. So if you type something that's over abbreviated, spell it out if you have to. Snowstorm to G7. Snowstorm does break bones of seal. Give me 1 second. All right. We are going to pause the stream for a couple of minutes. We are at the midway point. I have something going on that I got to reload. So give me a second, and we'll be right back. All right. Let me know if everybody can see the screen. Can everybody see the background? If so, we are back. There's an update that came through in the middle of the stream, so I'm going to try to get through the next 30 minutes and hopefully do the update afterwards. Just a very random time. All right. Let me double check real quick. Just checking the score to see what the last move that we left off was. All right. So the last move would have removed Bones of Seal. We will go to 1040. So 1040, we'll get a full 30 minutes. It was snowstorm to G7. Football should have a seal. Tiny should have a seal. Just double checking to see who has seals and who doesn't. All right. Tiny, your move. Animal sunk a battleship. Trigger. Hit bones. Tiny Bunko, B6, H6. B6, H6. B6 is a miss. H6 is also a miss. Sir Tim, you are up, my friend. Thank you again for all of you guys for being patient and waiting through that 10-minute delay. Appreciate that. Sir Tim dropping a seal. Bunko, B2, C2. B2, C2. B2 is a miss. C2 is also a miss. Football Master, you're up. We have football, and then we have Nightshade. Bunko, B8, G8. B8 is a miss. G8 is also a miss. Nightshade, Aiden in the house. Let's go, Aiden. Snowstorm to G7. Says, let's get her done. Bones, restore. Score is now 1-1. Did not need to play a Vines because she was not sealed. And you do get a snowstorm effect, and we'll put it in F6. All right, next round, Dimes, you're up. Let's start round 3, everybody. Nightshade with a sunken ship. Animal and Nightshade both with 1 ship sink each. Bunko, C4, G4. One of those two will hit. One of those two will hit. Doc. Sorry, Doc. That is my bad, because I did not realize they had a blue. Doc, do you want to use the blue or save it? Probably best to save it, because I can't undo it. All right. Doc, your move. Bunko. D6, and where else? H3 and D6. H3 is a miss. D6 is also a miss. Bones, you're up. Snowstorm to C4. Bones, Snowstorm to C4. Doc says, wait. Going to use a blue to shut down C4. Could it be a bluff? Maybe. Or is Bones onto something? Cat, your move. All players are out of preventions, legends, and blues. Bunko, B2, F2. One of those two will hit. One of those two will hit. Animal, your move. "21 minutes remaining. Snowstorm to C4. Snowstorm to C4. Will break cat seal. Will freeze a section of the pond right there. Trigger, your move. Grizzly F4 with a max seal to cat. Grizzly to F4. F4 is a miss. Tiny, your move. Vines to cat. Sad to C4. Vines to cat. Sad to C4. C4 is a hit. Cat, res and restore. Dime, second attack. With Tiny. Snowstorm to C5. C5 is a hit. Going to break Doc's seal. Freeze another section of the pond. Sir Tim, your move. $16 to go. Max seal to Dr. Die. Funko, E2, F2. One of those two will hit. E2, F2. One of those two is a hit. Football, your move. Vines to C5. Sad grenade to Dr. Die. Dr. Die, res and restore. Football, give us another attack. Snowstorm to S6. I'm sorry, C6. Snowstorm to C6. Going to break Sir Tim's seal and freeze another section of the pond. Aiden, Nightshade is up. $14 minutes to go. Plenty of time, both teams. Max Seal, Sir Tim. Snowstorm to F2. Tiny Seal is broken. We found Tiny. Nice. Dimes, your move. Both teams on to something. Vines, Tim. And remember, each team, you guys are responsible for keeping up with the vines and the challenges as well. Vines to Tim, sad to C6. Vines is good. Sad is good. We got a second battleship for Team Sly. They have 2 3-seaters down, but Vox still has some info. Dimes sunk a battleship. Dimes, give me your next move. Tim, res and restore, please. Dimes, follow-up move. Tammy, we got to get a move. All right, put it through again. If it's a snowstorm, it probably doesn't like all these SS's. So if you guys are using a lot of abbreviations, type them out if there's not enough words there. I still don't see it, so somebody cut and paste it. Snowstorm to D8. D8 is a miss. F3 now frozen. Doc, your move. Sad to F2. Well, you shouldn't be sad about that. Tiny, res and restore. Doc, throw your next attack. We got 10 minutes to go. Doc with a big hit. Snowstorm to G2. G2 is a miss. But she does get the snowstorm effect. Bones, you're up. Bunko, H4, A4. H4 and A4, both misses. Cat, your move. Snowstorm to F1. F1 is a miss. Does get the snowstorm effect. Animal, your move. 7 minutes to go. Sly with a 2-1 lead, but Vox is on the hunt. Animal Bunko, D2, F4. D2 is a miss. F4 is a miss. Trigger, your move. Six minutes. Sad to F3. Breaks the ice. Remember, it had a coating of ice over the top of it. You don't know what's underneath it yet, but it is broken. And because you didn't reveal a human target, you don't get a second attack. Could be something, might not be. Tiny, you're up. Bunko, A6, E6. A6 is a miss. E6 is a miss. Sir Tim, you're up. Snowstorm to F3. F3. Breaks football seal. We found football. It also tells you how big the boat is. And freezes a block. Football, you're up. Four minutes to go. Can Vox storm back? They are so close. Do we have football? Maxiel himself. Smart. B7, D7. B7's a miss. D7 is a miss. Aiden, Nightshade, you're up. Vines and Sad to F3. Vines breaks the seal. Sad to F3. Sinks a battleship. Nightshade, get your next move in. Nightshade sunk a ship. Back-to-back moves. It is a two-seater. Two minutes to go. Get your moves in quickly. Second move, Nightshade. Snowstorm to B2. It will break the eye. Well, sorry, B2's over here. B2 already been targeted. B2 was targeted earlier. There's a miss over there. Snowstorm will not hit. And that, everybody, is time. It is time. Congratulations, Team Sly. Both teams sunk two ships, but Sly, 2 3-seater, which is slightly better than a 3-seater and a 2-seater. A very, very good match. Great job by all 4 of the captains tonight. Dr. Dye, Dimes, Justice, and Villar, amazing jobs. Even though Vox lost the game, our MVP tonight is Nightshade. Nightshade sunk 2 ships. So Nightshade will get an added bonus of War Gems, which will help box all players playing tonight. We got a couple minutes, and I know we had a delay. So I think that the Vine Smoke and the snowstorms have changed Ship Strike. Would you guys agree? More action, more intense. Strategy is much, much better. I really, really enjoyed this Ship Strike. So it'll develop little by little. You know, we're not going to change it too much because we want everybody to get good at it. But great job tonight. You guys learned a couple new moves. Everybody played great. So these are intense matches. They go down to the wire. You guys were awesome. So remember, we got Ship Strike now and Castle Strike, and both are going to be a lot of fun. This will be back November 24th. We'll be playing again. So you guys have a great night. Enjoy your night off tomorrow. And by the way, Wednesday night, we got Ark traveling to Jet for an amazing faction war. So be here and cheer them on. You guys, I enjoyed it. We'll see you all soon. Congratulations to our winners. But great job to everybody that played. You guys crushed it. Have a good night. Peace.